must do get some pain pills, as so many of Jones's characters do. His sister Susan is a schizophrenic, which is not as central to this story as the self-inflicted lobotomy she endured when she tried to kill herself. Richard shows off for us by playing Russian roulette. He claims that not dying has made him euphoric like Van Gogh minus the slicing of the ear. He doesn't die. But he doesn't fool Thom Jones, and therefore he doesn't fool us. The man is wild with grief, and the only help on the horizon, the unlikely and lovely and damaged cavalry to the rescue, is his sister. Susan tells Richard that she dreams of a happy life for them, driving a '67 Dodge around heaven, and after the telling of the dream, in their real life together, they have an elaborate lunch, the best little lunch of a lifetime, in Richard's car. They listen to "This is Dedicated to the One I Love" on the radio. What can be better, Richard says, than a cool, breezy, fragrant day, rain-splatter diamonds on the wraparound windshield of a '98 Olds with a view of cherry trees blooming in the light spring rain. I love this story more than I can say. It is peace and trouble, love and grief, doom, and the tiny flicker of hope, if one can bear to have it. There are plenty of critics who have raved about Thom's Vietnam stories, exceptional feats of imagination from a man who, while a Marine himself, wasn't actually there, having been prevented from deploying after suffering temporal lobe epilepsy when he was soundly beaten in a boxing match. Boxing, like that war, is a preoccupation throughout his fiction. Each time his collections came out, the reviews were pyrotechnic. For Thom's irresistible voice, his bravery, his audacity and grit, and his knack for unnerving cheer in the face of catastrophe. In short, for his amazing blend of knowledge, skill, terror, and release, according to Robert Stone, who seems to me to have been a fair judge of these things. Thom's sentences have crack and clarity. His paragraphs build to stories and places that you hadn't thought to go, with people you hadn't known you could recognize and even love. Give Baker a compass and a topographical map, says the soldier narrator of Pot Shack, and one could bear witness to, indeed become a part of, the elusive, semi-mystical Tao of military science. Such were Baker's leadership skills that his every thought, word, and action could propel a lesser personality into selfless right action in the service of the big green machine. You will hear all this, Thom Jones's whole, wide, deep, rambunctious, grief-stricken, and melancholy range of gifts in the 26 stories gathered here. Thom Jones is, as a character describes his man Schopenhauer, an august seeker of truth. He was a friend to the friendless, a strong voice for the maimed, funny as hell, and from the first to the last, a great American writer.
Selected Stories. The Pugilist at Rest. Hey Baby got caught writing a letter to his girl when he was supposed to be taking notes on the specs of the M14 rifle. We were sitting in a stifling hot Quonset hut during the first weeks of boot camp, August 1966, at the Marine Corps Recruit Depot in San Diego. Sergeant Wright snatched the letter out of Hey Baby's hand, and later that night in the squad bay he read the letter to the Marine recruits of Platoon 263, his voice laden with sarcasm. "Hey Baby," he began. And then as he went into the body of the letter, he worked himself into a state of outrage and disgust. It was a letter to Rosie Rottencrotch, he said at the end. And what really mattered, what was really at issue, and what was of utter importance was not Rosie Rottencrotch and her steaming hot panties, but rather the muzzle velocity of the M14 rifle. Hey Baby paid for the letter by doing 100 squat thrusts on the concrete floor of the squad bay. But the main prize he won that night was that he became forever known as Hey Baby to the recruits of Platoon 263. In addition to being a shitbird, a faggot, a turd, a maggot, and other such appellations. To top it all off, shortly after the incident, Hey Baby got a Dear John from his girl back in Chicago, of whom Sergeant Wright, myself, and 78 other